And time is time.
Time.
Yeah.
Look what's become of me.
Mm-hmm. Look what's become of you indeed. All right, here we go. What's Slucko doing? Is Slucko okay? Oh, he's looking for jobs. Good luck, dude. Good luck. Slucko in the chat. He's someone was saying he needs good vibes, and I was worried it was something bad.
Good vibes to you, man.
Yeah, I hope you get the job you're looking for.
For sure.
Okay. Time? Yeah, time.
Time
Bring keeps on ticking. All right, here we go. It begins in 3, 2, 1.
The traveling family who went 6,000 miles on one bar of soap.
No, one kind of soap.
I remember the fat man.
It's gonna be all right, Teddy. I understand now.
Damn it.
This is the morning stream.
I'm gonna play that again.
It's gonna be all right, Teddy. I understand now. This is the morning stream.
Still getting used to the old soundboard change.
Sure.
A little bit of a different workflow. I mean, you gotta understand, like, 5 years of the show have been doing it one way and one way only every day, day in and day out. So when you pull it all away and you go, hey, Scott, try a different way, it's a little, throws you off your game. That's all I'm saying. Throws you off your game.
It does. Yes.
Speaking of throwing people off their game, we're here to do that on a Wednesday. It's Wednesday, October 23rd.
We're here to throw you off your game today.
Whatever game you have, we're throwing you off of it. I'm Scott Johnson. He's Brian Ibbett, and it is TMS. Welcome, Brian. Hi and hello.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you. It's good to be here.
Decent
once
morning.
Again,
good
joining
morning.
you.
Is it? Oh yeah. Good morning in the morning. The news this morning. Is that what you're saying to me?
Yeah, the news this morning. Good morning.
Fantastic. How was your morning? Fine. Everything fine over there?
Fine until a few minutes ago, and things seem to have righted themselves. Like I had a client who I did. Oh my God, Scott! Yesterday afternoon, I had to Photoshop isolate 18 automobiles out of photos that the dealership had taken, just in their lot. So basically pull up the car, they clean it really nice, and then pull it up to the front of their dealership, and then they take a picture. And like, well, we want something snowy. And mind you, the first thing they said to me is, well, we want to do a car ad with about, 6 to 8 cars. I'm like, oh, cool, no problem. All right. We want to have a little snowy background. So I found this cool background that I used and created a drop, like a shadow vector that I could kind of move around that had a little bit of a blur on it so that I could move it underneath the car, because you can't just if you do a straight drop shadow behind a car that's isolated from
it's terrible. Don't ever do it.
It looks like a two-dimensional car hovering above your thing.
It's
really
awful.
all you need is a square where a polygon, 4-pointed polygon where the tires touch.
Gotcha.
And as long as you've got that and a little bit of blur on it, it looks like it's real. It looks like it's sitting wherever you want to make it sit.
Sure.
But I have to spend, so it started out 6 to 8 cars. Then it's like, well, can we do 12? Oh, but can we do 16? We have 16 cars that we want to push in this out. It's like, God dang it. 2.5 hours of like getting around this and a door handle and cutting out tires too is the worst.
It is bad because they're cylinders, but they have little cuts in them. So you got to like really get in there with your tools, and it's like a Photoshop nightmare. You can't just take that auto tracer tool thing they have now. It doesn't freaking work like that, guys. Freaking Adobe. Wake up, sheeple.
I do like the magnetic tool, the magnetic lasso.
Yeah, it works great when it works.
It does work great when it works. And I just figured out, this is probably old hat to everybody else who does Photoshop. But so you're dragging along with your magnetic lasso or any lasso tool.
Yeah.
And you get to the edge of your image and you're like, well, crap, I need to get more of my image. I'm at the end of my image, but there's more image to the right. If you hold down the space bar, your hand, while you're doing your lasso, your cursor turns into a hand. You drag the whole image over, release the space bar, and you're right back to drawing your little lasso.
Oh, gotcha. Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So like,
totally.
While you're lassoing, you can switch to the space bar, and it does not interrupt your lasso.
Yeah, which is cool.
There's like 5 people listening who are like, "Oh, that's great,"
Yeah,
or
no.
actually, there's probably one person who's like, "Oh, that's great." 4 people said, "I already know that," and then the other several thousand listeners are saying, "Whatever, move
Yeah,
on.
don't
Let's talk
care.
about poop."
You Photoshop nerds, move on is what they're saying.
Can we talk about poop, please?
Yes,
I
poop,
didn't tune in
wieners.
to learn something.
Yeah, we need wieners, more poop, more wieners.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's fun for you. Enjoy. You know what your thing this morning probably was? It's probably just some DNS thing. DNS is always there, man.
I think it
Always.
was, yeah, like an IP address. Something was
Oh, I
wrong,
hate
goofy,
that.
strange.
Hate it. Because it's the whole internet's based on it. Yet when it breaks, everything seems all mysterious and weird. How did it happen? We don't know who to blame.
Magnets.
Magnets.
How do they work?
How do they work? Anyway, we're gonna do a show for you today. We got Battle Royale coming up. We got the news. We got Tom and Nicole and all that stuff. Oh, I forgot to do a recommendal. What am I thinking?
Oh no, really?
Well, I think I watched something. The question is it recommendable enough? And I think it probably
You think
is.
you watched something?
Yeah. I mean, I watched a few things. I'm just trying to remember if it was memorable enough for me to recommend it. It probably is. It's fine. I'll recommend it. I've been doing the Halloween movies, the horror movies.
Oh, sure.
So I'll probably talk about that.
I'm impressed with that, by the way, because I haven't watched any. I feel like the only thing that I've watched Halloween stuff has been for Film Sack. Like on my own, no real horror-y stuff. Well, I mean, Mindhunter's kind of creepy,
Sort of
scary.
horish, yeah, a little bit, a little hoary. But I see. Here's the thing: I don't normally do it. Like you're doing what I usually do, which is Film Sack watches cheesy horror for that month, and then the rest of it I just don't. But for whatever reason, I got interested in watching a bunch of horror movies I missed over the years, like the Conjuring. It's, a bunch of those what's his name
I've
movies.
been wanting to watch The Conjuring. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know when this happened, but did we talk about this? Maybe we did. How what's his name is in all the horror movies now? Patrick Wilson.
Oh yes.
I think we did talk about that. He's in all of them now.
did.
Like, what's he
Yep.
doing? What is this? His new career path? Like, when did that all happen? I guess it happened years ago, and I just wasn't paying attention. But Patrick Wilson is in everything, horror related. But anyways, I'm into it, and I don't know what I'm watching next. Did I tell you about the one I bounced off of? I think I did. The Spit on Your Grave one. Who?
Yes, you did. Yes, yeah. You talking about how you watched the first couple minutes of it and then
couldn't
said,
do
"Nope,
it. It's
nope,
brutal,
done."
dude. Freaking brutal. And people tell me the '70s one is even worse, but I can't even imagine because this was the most exploitative, awful, freaking. I mean, they couldn't. There's no way the revenge at the end could justify the stuff at the beginning. There's no way. No way you get enough revenge to make that worth it. Ugh, it's bad. Anyway, and I like revenge movies.
It doesn't make it. Yeah, right.
You know, little revenge never hurt nobody, I like to say.
Sure.
All right, let's talk about this. Got a bunch of calls sitting or waiting around for us. Thought it might be good to get to a few of them today.
Okay.
So this morning we're gonna play a couple. Now these all came to 801-471-0462, and yeah, if that number sounds familiar, it's the same one we take live calls with. But when we're not taking live calls, it takes voicemails, and the voicemails I then get, and then I can play them here on the show. It's how it works, and it's a real cool thing. And you're welcome to call anytime and say whatever you want, like the following people. We got one about the Jazz, and this is supposed to help me feel better about my team that's in perpetual
Constantly
rebuild.
rebuilding you.
Yeah. So here they are. Let's see what he says.
Hey, man, this is Pete from North Carolina. Your Utah Jazz are good, man. Like, I heard you were talking about the 97 Bulls Jazz and all that. You guys are going to be good. You are good. Like, sneaky good. And you might surprise some people. So it's worth paying attention to, man. Anyway, love the show. Thanks, bud.
I like how it's just, they're good. They're sneaky good. All right, anyway, we'll see ya. Like, are they good? And if they are, why are they? What players am I supposed to get stoked about this time around? Like, I don't know, man. I feel like I want to believe. I want to believe what you're telling me. You made a really compelling argument, but I don't feel it still. I don't feel like my team is all that much of a team at the moment. So we'll see how that goes. All right, Brian, how about this one?
Okay. All right.
This is about driverless cars, which we talked about some time ago. Follow up to that. Here you go.
Just listening to today's show, September 19th, you guys talking about electronic cars and taking over the interstates, and the one guy who wanted to just have his own cars, manual drive. Just thinking, what do you guys think the transition was like when there were horses and buggies everywhere, and then cars actually came into the scene? Love the show. Thanks.
Okay, I appreciate the comparison. I think what he's saying...
I'm never going to give up my horse. Oh, Bessie's been with me, and you're going to tell me. I'm sure there's a lot of that, right?
There had to have been. Plus, they were they were noisy and stinky, and they would tear up the path because the roads weren't paved, right? So you had just a lot of dirt roads and stuff like that, and they were known for banging that up. They would break down on the side of the road and kind of block traffic for the horse-drawn carriage and buggy stuff to get past. So yeah, it was a thing. It was a problem, and they got over it. And now we're so over it. We literally built an interstate highway system that cost billions of dollars that we all rely on every day to do everything. So
I can't even imagine going back to. I mean, obviously, you and I never experienced horse-drawn carriage except maybe for a hayride every once in a while.
Right.
But I can't imagine, all of us as a society saying, you know what, cars just aren't working out. Let's go back to horses.
Yeah, and people were pissed. They were pissed because their whole world is being upended. The way they got around was being challenged, and not only that, it was being challenged with people with money and a fancy new device that seemed crazy, like a crazy machine. Right. So yeah, like I 100% with this dude. I think that any big change like this seems crazy and hard for the generation that experiences it, but it all works out in the end. It's fine. History is a rising road, as I like to say. Well, LBJ, not LBJ. FDR used to say that.
Rising road?
Yeah.
How does the road rise? Oh, I guess you're going uphill.
Yeah.
That's not good.
No, that's his ideas that so FDR? Yeah, Franklin Delano Roosevelt said.
Sure.
History's a rising road, meaning that not Freddie Dickface
Derwick Reynolds.
Derwick Reynolds.
Freddie Derwick Reynolds.
I don't even trust that guy. Just hearing that name, I don't trust it.
Yeah, no.
Anyway, when Sidian says, fun fact, FDR probably didn't have polio. How you got that one figured? You better give me some good stuff on that.
Yeah.
Because freaking, you know who told me it has polio and then did a bunch of confirming stuff was Mr. Ken Burns. You may have heard of him.
I trust Ken Burns.
I'm super curious about that now. But anyways, Sidian with the sneaky info, man. I gotta hear more.
Fake news.
Well, he usually drops a lot of truth bombs in here.
Sometimes he does, but this whole polio thing, I thought that was pretty much confirmed. I mean, I feel like that was.
I mean, I know he lied. I know he lied about it, and or hit. I shouldn't say lied. He hid it all the time.
Yeah.
But that's not this. I mean, he actually had it though, right? Anyway. Oh, he says I thought it might be a misdiagnosed case of Guillain-Barré
syndrome.
I don't know.
The old Guillain-Barré.
Yeah, the old Guillain-Barré syndrome.
Yeah.
Maybe it was. Okay, well, that's possible. It's possible it was misdiagnosed. I could see that. But anyways, probably not, though. Everybody was into the polio then. So anyway, what was the point? Oh, he says history's a rising road. And the reason he says that is because when people get all down about what's going on anytime, whatever, like right now you might be complaining, that Donald Trump feller. Or you might be complaining, that Trudeau feller, or whatever your complaint is.
Yeah.
The historically, things are always on the bit of a rise. Always a little better. It takes a long time. Sometimes you don't notice it. Okay. History's a rising road.
Rising road. I mean, I get it. It's like you're always onward and upward, but it does imply great. We're going uphill. Which,
you know what? You're not wrong. I'd never thought of that before. You're totally right. It's got a bad second meaning. Well, no, you know what it means. It means for us to rise, it takes work, Brian. It takes work, see?
Yeah, okay.
You know what I mean? Like it's nothing's
easy. Right. If we didn't work, we'd just be kind of like,
if you want to get higher, you got to work harder.
I don't want to though. I don't want to go uphill. When do we start coasting? Can the future be it's all downhill from here? Can we have that?
It's also it's supposed to be one giant average, but in the actual micro, or in the micro, we do have moments of like glide, and then a little bit like your bike thing you do all the time. It's like that.
Right now we're in a rebuilding year is what you're saying.
We're in a Yeah, we're in a bit of a rebuilding phase in some ways.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is frustrating because we don't know how good we got it sometimes. But anyway. Oh, look at that. Sidian has a whole Wikipedia article on the paralytic illnesses of Franklin D. Roosevelt. Interesting. All right. Hey, look, Sidian used to be a teacher, right? He was a teacher for a long time, so...
Oh, Roosevelt was? I didn't know that.
No, Sidian is, or was.
Oh.
Not anymore, right, Sidian? I can't remember the story. But he either taught or still teaches, or he knows his stuff.
Seems like the angriest teacher ever. He seems so salty in the chat room.
He says not anymore. No.
Oh, but that implies that he was a teacher. So
did you quit because the kids were mean, or what was the deal there? They didn't bring you an apple every day.
He quit because he was mean.
He was mean. I'm too mean. I quit. I mean, we don't want to turn this into this interview Sidian hour, but I'm super curious about that for some reason. I don't know why that's interesting to me. Anyway, there's that. Let's play this third call. Okay, this one.
All right.
Well, I'll just let you hear it. It's our old pal Jonathan in New York. Here you go.
Hey, this is Jonathan in New York. Calling back. Didn't get a chance to call back last week. Hey, Scott. I've got a Utah connection. I've been there. Sorry I didn't get through today. Talk to you later. Bye.
His Utah connection is that he's been here. I love it.
That's a good connection.
Right.
Aww.
Then you have a new...
Nice to see you can wake and bake in states other than Washington and Colorado and...
Yeah, he always sounds like he's got a little bit of the old help, if you know what I mean.
I know. I'm sure he's not, but...
no, we don't want to cast aspersions. Is that how it goes? Is that the phrase?
Yeah, cast aspersions,
all
sure.
right. Rising road, cast aspersions. Look at all these idioms.
Cast a rising road of aspersions.
Yeah, we need more idioms. Let's combine our idioms today into one big Voltron idiom and see what we can do with it. Thank you for your calls, you guys. I love these, so please keep them coming. They're super easy to submit and have and do. All you got to do is call that number, 801-471-0462, and leave us a voicemail. You can do it anytime. When they're on the air, off the air, doesn't matter. Voicemail will happen unless you're calling live for something we're doing live. Okay. Speaking of which.
In which case we'll answer, so that doesn't... Just be ready to leave a message if we don't answer.
Brian says, give me... Oh, this was at 9:21. What time is it? Oh, he needs a few minutes. He says, give me about 15 if you can. We are having Chrome issues. At first, I thought it said Crohn's issues. Like he was having had Crohn's disease. And I'm like, dude, you didn't tell me that. All right, so I'm going to try him. Let's just see if he answers.
Yeah, when did he send that?
Like 5 minutes ago. So it may not be enough time, but we'll try. We'll just try it. Because he did say, if you can. Well, what if I can't, Dunaway? What if I can't?
What if I can't? What if we're beholden to a schedule here? We got to talk about poop.
That's right. Pops and Recline makes a good point. Says, prepare for phone calls, or prepare for voicemails that are really people trying to get through Battle Royale but end up in voicemail. I think that's probably what happened to Jonathan there.
Yeah, I think so. Because your voicemail, your outgoing Frog Pants TMS voicemail doesn't say, you didn't get through this time, but leave a message and we'll get back to you or something like that.
It's more
it doesn't
general.
say anything like that.
No, it's just more general. It says, welcome to the Frog Pants voice line. Leave a message.
He asked for 5 minutes, he says.
Oh, 5? Is that all
boys
you
in my
need?
office, give me 5 more minutes.
Oh, 5 minutes. We can do 5 minutes. That's no problem at all. That'll give me time to read an actual email. This is like a real email. Not
good. I was going to say it gives you time to watch something for your recommendal.
That would work too. Ryan Smith wrote in about ATM machines because we were talking about that and PIN numbers and all that yesterday. Or you were, I guess.
PIN numbers and ATM machines.
Yeah, He says, your discussion about ATM machines and PIN numbers, which is like him saying automatic teller machines and what is personal identification numbers.
Personal identification numbers, yes.
Right. Reminding me of something Penn Jillette said on his podcast. He referred to the sexual act that can be abbreviated to ATM, and whenever he hears ATM machine, all he can think of is a machine that does that. Now I'm passing that along to you. Wait.
I thought the correct abbreviation, and I'm ashamed to say this, is A2M.
I don't know what it is. Oh, that! I hate that.
I do want somebody to clip the moment of realization on Scott's face when.
It wasn't until you put the 2 in there.
Yeah.
But then it's still right because 2. You mean the number 2? Because that's how.
Yeah, the number 2.
Yeah, because T would spell it. But until you said T,
T-O would spell it. Oh,
Well,
I
yeah.
see. T. Yes, T would abbreviate it. Yes.
so either way, either way,
Oh my God.
ATM works. It's just that
Yes.
you saying the number 2 got me there.
It got the realization. Yes. Hey, Brian Dunaway's here with us now. Can we talk Brian Dunaway, please?
Oh, please, let's talk about Dunaway. I want to do that real bad. Hi, Dunaway. How are you?
Oh, hi, Scott and Brian. How are you guys?
We're fine.
We're good.
Yeah.
We're good. We're just ruining Scott's innocence one abbreviation.
One more time.
One acronym at a time.
One more time. Hey, you guys, check it out. It's Babble Royale, where we sit here with Brian Dunaway and have some fun and try to give away some prizes and have a good time so that we can all have a good time. Brian, how are you? Is it a good week? What happened to Chrome? What's wrong with Chrome?
Stupid Chrome and Symantec endpoint protection can't get their jazz together.
Whoa.
That's
jizz
right.
Jazz. Okay, all right.
We talked about the Jazz earlier this morning.
Right, talking about the jazz this morning, man.
Yeah. So wait a minute. So, what's I gonna say about that? I had a thing to say about that.
Like if you're in an enterprise, if you're like in an enterprise area of work, and your company uses Chrome, and you got the latest version today, you may find yourself in trouble if you're running Symantec endpoint protection.
Does Symantec still make that? What's that guy's name for the virus protection?
Oh yeah, right.
Dr. Oz, Uncle Dr. Boswell. What is
that
it?
guy's name?
Boswell's Protection Service.
Norton.
Norton.
Yes. Norton
oh my
antivirus.
God.
Yes.
I still use Norton Commander.
Oh, yeah? No
Really?
way.
For me.
Really?
No.
You say, go out and get your paper, and he goes out and gets his paper, and
Yeah.
Exactly what
eat a
happened.
bowl of cornflakes, and he eats a bowl of cornflakes.
Why did I think it was Boswell? All right.
Oh, speaking of throwbacks, have you guys seen that they're bringing, I guess, checks? Wasn't it checks that did the Mikey thing?
No, that
Now
was
there's
Life.
there's like a new Mikey.
Oh, no, that's Life cereal.
Oh, that's Life cereal.
Life.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Life. I did say chicks.
Yeah. He says, "Hey, Mikey, he likes it." So you saying there's a new
Right, 'cause
kid, or they brought?
Because the original Mikey died from mixing Coke and Pop Rocks.
Yeah, that
That's
was the,
what we heard.
that's the
So now
rumor.
we've got a new
100%
Mikey.
Is it a new little kid or is it an older dude?
It's a
or-
new little kid.
Okay. All right.
Is he
we've
going to
got-
be just as
Annoying?
looked at by his friends as a deviant because he likes Life cereal?
Mikey likes it a little too much.
Is that his friend? I think it's supposed to be his brother or something, wasn't it? I don't
I'll
know.
be in my bunk with my Life cereal.
I don't know enough of my Life cereal lore is a little short on details. I have to admit.
Yeah,
all
I
right.
don't know if it was ever, it was never explained how those kids knew each other and why they were all eating breakfast together. But I
Oh,
would
and you're
assume
worried
that one of
about
them,
that.
I would assume that two of them were siblings and the other one was there for a sleepover, and they just decided to rip on poor Mikey.
Nothing.
I couldn't focus on that because I was too busy trying to figure out what that thing was in the honeycomb commercial.
Oh yeah. Well, it was
Sure.
everything was big. Yeah. Here's the other thing too. One of these days, I'll have to tell you guys about why I think sleepovers are the worst idea in human history. But I'll save it for
Wow.
another day. Hi, you're on the air. Who's this? Thanks for being so
Somebody
patient.
please make a note of that.
Hey, it's Zarek from Dayton, Ohio.
Hello, Zarek from Dayton, Ohio. It's nice to have you here. Dayton, Ohio. Why is Dayton, Ohio ringing a bell for something recent? That's not where that shooting was.
We've had
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, it
the
was the
Oregon
shooting.
district
Yeah.
here in Dayton. There was a big ugly shooting a couple months ago.
That's right. That was the big
wow.
one. I was
way
trying
to way to remind Zarek. Is it
I
Zarek or
know.
Derek? Zarek with a Z?
Zarek with a Z. That's correct.
Is that a real name or is that your nickname?
That's a nickname that I'm actually transitioning to become my real name.
I love
Because I
that
like it
name.
so much.
Yeah, it's
That
very
name's
cool.
awesome. Yeah.
Just watch out for Apollo and Starbuck because they don't like that guy.
Oh yeah, Tom Zarek. That's right. The leader of the. Well, it was played by the old Apollo, so it's kind of okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Richard Hatch, not the naked guy from Survivor. Richard Hatch.
Right. And rest in peace. Not the guy from Survivor. Anyway,
Right.
Zarek, that is a cool name. I hope you get it, and you'll have to tell us how that process works. But for today, we're going to have you be part of today's competition in Battle Royale. Brian Ibbett will explain all of it
Heck
right
yeah.
now. Go ahead, Brian.
That's right. I'm going to give Scott and Brian Dunaway a topic, and they're going to go back and forth with answers for that topic. If one of them gives a wrong answer, a repeated answer, or they take too long to come up with an answer, by golly, the win will go to the other player. Your job, Zarek, is to become a political terrorist in our near future and to predict who is going to come out on top based on the topic. Today, you are playing for a pair of CDs from Dizzy Box 9 and Trend Selva and a copy of Sonic Mania on Steam. And I'm guessing that
Oh, that's very good, by the way, Sonic Mania.
this is with the classic Sonic, not with that weird creature that we saw in the trailer.
No, yeah, no. This is what this is. It's like them going back. In fact, I think there's a really interesting story about it. Sega hired some guys that were making a indie version of this because they loved old Sonic, and they made kind of a Sonic game that was so good it caught their eye. And so they hired some of these guys to work on this game, and so this game is like made by fans of Sonic, like and it plays like, you know, Sonic 1, 2, 3, freaking the CD game, all that. So it's actually very good. I've played it.
Made by fans, but endorsed by Sega.
Made
basically.
by and also now they're employees, but yes,
cool.
they hired them. It's pretty. It's actually
that's
and it
awesome.
also plays really well. It's very good. Anyway,
Cool. Well, that could be yours, Zarek. But before we can start this game, I need to give Scott and Brian their topic today. This one comes to us from David Akers. And
David,
so you guys like video games.
love them.
I've heard of those.
I like music. This is kind of that intersection, that junction, if you will, between music and video games. There was an album that came out in the 80s called Pac-Man Fever
Oh my gosh.
by a couple of guys named Buckner and Garcia.
Uh-huh.
I want you to know there were 8 songs on the album. Each one had to do with a classic arcade game. I want you to tell me the classic arcade games referenced in each of those 8 songs.
I love this. Oh my
I
gosh, I
bet
love
you
this.
do.
Yeah, this is exciting because I played that tape until it wore out. So
Did you really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
that Zarek, that should probably give you an idea of who you should be looking at. How do you feel about this one, Brian? Let's kind of give you some equal footing or equal.
yeah, how you
a
feel?
chance to-
I feel fine. I feel just wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Fantastic. I didn't wear the tape out.
But you had the tape?
I did not have the tape, but I
Oh.
did listen to it.
Yeah.
All right. Good enough.
All
Good
right.
enough. All right.
I
Okay.
had the CD.
Oh,
I had the tape.
ooh, look at you.
I had the mini disc of that one.
Fancy.
Zarek, who would you like to go first, and who do you think is going to win?
I'm gonna say Scott the Star and to win.
Yeah.
Oh,
haven't had a
that.
start and win in a while. That's cool. I'm into
Yeah.
it. All right. Well, obviously Pac-Man.
I'm hoping that somebody was going to start with that
Obviously.
one.
Yeah.
Yes, good.
Yeah,
Good. Pac-Man Fever. It's a 3-minute and 49 second song that begins the album.
I used to know the words to almost every song, so I don't really now,
Wow.
but I used to. And I'm in my head right now. I'm trying to conjure it, and I can't quite think of anything other than the chorus. But anyway.
Sure.
All right, Dunaway.
All right, I repeat the question just one more time. There's how many songs on this album?
There are 8 songs on the album, and each one references one classic video game.
Gotcha. Okay, then I'm going to go with Donkey Kong.
The
wow,
Donkey
that was
Kong.
quiet.
Sorry.
You scared the
Do-
crap out of me.
No,
I was like,
I'm
one
sorry.
and done?
The Donkey Kong. The song is called Do the Donkey Kong. And I'm not asking for song titles. I'm asking for what games. So that is absolutely correct. Track 4, Do the Donkey Kong.
All right.
How do you do the Donkey Kong?
You.
If
I don't
if
know.
it would be on YouTube now and it'd be a dance sensation.
Yeah. It involves barrels and bananas. You don't want to know. You have to wear a tie.
Oh, look at my barrels and bananas.
Yeah. Careful of that.
Look at them.
All right. I'm gonna say. I think pretty sure Defender was in there, if I remember right.
Yes, there was a song called The Defender.
The Defender. All right.
Oh, yes, I'm the great defender. No, I wish that was it. That'd be awesome.
No.
Just called The Defender, and track 6 on the album.
All right.
Well, I've been playing that reboot on the Apple Arcade of Frogger, and
Yeah.
I know that was during that time period. So, do we have a Frogger in there?
We do. Track number 2 is Froggy's Lament.
Froggy's Lament.
Froggy's Lament.
That's so stupid.
How do you like that Frogger Apple Arcade reboot?
I think it's all right. I mean,
Yeah.
I like the way it looks. How about that? I really
Yes.
dig.
You know
the
what?
look.
That's exactly where I was too. I was like, oh, this looks great. Gameplay's a little.
Yeah,
it's
they pretty
okay.
they pretty successfully create like that tilt shift sort of. This is an actual desk full of
Yes.
stuff you're trying to get around. Like that's cool. I totally dig that. But
That they do a great job with that.
the actual
but
play is just
gameplay is like meh.
pretty straightforward. Yeah.
Meh.
Not a lot
Meh.
of new stuff going on there. All right, Froggy's Lament. You said let's do. Hold on, my brain just went.
Trying to think what
blank.
else could be during that time period that would.
Oh, Asteroids is on there.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Asteroids.
Asteroids.
The song is called Hyperspace.
Oh.
And it's track 5 on the album.
I would not have remembered that. I'm glad this isn't titles of tracks. I'd be screwed.
I know. Yeah, no, thered be no way.
Yeah. I get some of them, but
Right. I'm
Like-
thinking early arcade hits.
I'd
I
get-
played the crap out of some Centipede.
yeah.
So there may be, but
you?
maybe it's the other one.
Did you?
But there was
Millipede.
another one that was like Centipede.
Yeah, Millipede.
Is it Centipede?
You remember Millipede?
Millipede.
You remember Millipede, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
no.
remember Millipede.
Which one are you
Yeah.
doing then?
So what are you saying? What are you saying?
Oh crap! Well, you seem pretty positive when I said Centipede, so I'm going back there because I'm not going to
It'd be a
backtrack
smart
after
thing to
that.
do. Yeah, it'd be a very smart thing to do. The longest track on the album at 5 minutes and 37
I
seconds
wonder
is
why.
Ode to a Centipede, track number 3.
Is that really the longest song on there? That's weird.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's
All the
almost-
other songs are 4.5 minutes, maybe. Most are like 4 to 3.5 minutes.
Oh man. Berserk is on there. Berserk.
Pac-Man Fever.
Berserk.
Yep.
Going Berserk, track 8, the closer of this album.
Yeah.
Intruder alert, intruder
Intruder
alert, intruder alert.
Well,
Intergalactic.
well, it's another huge game about that time that I've played it recently as well. It has a lot of great sounds in it. How about Tetris?
Tetris.
Tetris on there, a little Russian song, a little Russian ditty.
Oh, if only.
Oh, is it not on there?
Oh no!
If
Really?
only.
If only. Oh.
Oh, that's too bad.
You guys got 7 of the 8 tracks, though. Scott, do you know the 8th one?
No. I want to say it's an obscure game. Let me think. I had that thing on repeat. I should just know this.
The Spy Hunter? Man, I would love to have like a Spy Hunter. That was a little bit later.
I
That
think
was,
that was a
but
little
that would
later.
use the Peter Gunn theme anyway, so.
yeah.
Is it
true,
pole
so you could do
position,
that.
maybe? Pole position?
Ooh, that was
Pole
a good
position.
one.
No,
That's a good
one.
somebody in the
Oh.
audience guessed Cubert, Dig Dug, both all good guesses. A game called Mousetrap.
Oh, Mouse. That's right.
Mousetrap.
That thing is a
Mousetrap.
lame game. Why they thought that was
Is that
worthy
the
of their
Three
album?
Blind Mice song? What does that
No,
sound like?
Mousetrap was like a. I don't remember
Well,
how
the
the
song-
song went, but
yeah.
the game
I remember
was stupid.
Mousetrap, but I don't remember the music to Mousetrap or what it really.
I don't remember the music to Mousetrap either. But again, they're making brand new songs with the.
that's
just
true.
based on the stuff that happens in the video game. I barely. I mean, it was like a Pac-Man clone, wasn't it?
Oh
It was
yeah,
just
here it is. I just
basically
looked it up
like
on YouTube. It is like it's just
Yeah.
like Pac-Man.
Mousetrap Fever.
Yep, 81 made by
That'd be
Exidy.
great if they just reused the song from.
So here I'll play a little bit of it. Here we go. Yeah, it's what you think it is. It's a bunch of cheese, and then
Yeah.
you're a mouse trying to get all the cheese, and then there are cats.
Oh, the cats are running around. Yeah.
So disappointed there wasn't
And
a
it's funny
Tetris
because I'm
in there.
looking at photos of it right now. Oh yeah, there was an arcade cabinet. I remember this on like I feel like this was the Odyssey or something. No, I guess it was on Atari 2600, ColecoVision, and Television. Oh, and Television is what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
Because one of those couldn't get the rights to have a Pac-Man game, and so they had Mousetrap. And I wonder if that's the order. Like they made the home game and they said, well, we could make an arcade. We could just port this to an arcade machine.
Mm-hmm.
Atari got the rights, but they shouldn't have. Ugh, that was a horrible version.
Shart and shouldn't.
Shart and
Shouldn't.
shouldn't. Hey,
Shouldn't, hidden.
this is how that song went. This is how it started.
Is this the Buckner and Garcia song?
Yeah. Da, da, da.
Sounds like animal porn.
Yeah.
I would have never owned this tape, by the way.
Oh, it's bad. Oh my gosh, it's bad.
Mousetrap.
Did y'all get this?
Pretty
Did
much
your dad? Right. Did your dad get like a free tape or something? Is that why you had the copy of this?
No, I went out and bought it because it seemed cool
Ah.
when I was a kid. It seemed neat, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
I was dumb.
I I just remember Pac-Man Fever and Do the Donkey Kong being played constantly on Dr. Demento, and that's as far as it would have gone for me.
Well, scrolling back up through the chat, somebody said that Billie Eilish does a cover of it. Where's the link?
She does it. No, she did. There's a meme of her doing the Donkey Kong.
Oh.
Like basically they've taken the little video of her in Bad Guy where they're driving their little cars around.
Oh. That's pretty great. Did they ever explain why she's got a bloody noise in that song? What's the bloody noise? Sorry, bloody nose, not bloody noise.
Because she's the bad guy. And
she's the bad guy, right?
Yeah.
Turn off that bloody noise, Philip. All right.
You guys been following her brother's little romp across the country?
No.
Isn't he doing like a tour now?
No.
Billie Eilish's little brother's doing something?
No, his older brother.
Her older brother?
Her
Yeah,
older brother.
he's the one who does all the music. He's the reason she's talented,
Oh, I
but he's
didn't
also
know that.
talented.
She's the
I
Jack.
didn't know that. Okay, I thought that she just had like studio musicians. I
No,
didn't realize
her
that.
older brother is the man with the jams.
I had no idea. That's all
Is he a
news to me.
false Eilish?
He is a false Eilish.
I see what you did there. That was very good.
Thank you very much.
All right, well,
I'll be here all week. Tip
You,
your waitress.
Zarek, you win. I don't know if you noticed, but you totally. Oh, you know what? Not only did you win, I gotta play this. Here we go.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
There you go. You win. You don't get chicken dinner, but you do get all those things that Brian had listed out earlier, which means you just have to email him, coverville@gmail.com, and he will hook you up.
Send me your mailing address, Zarek.
Yes, indeed.
Which of the 12 planets you reside upon.
Yes, you do sound like an interplanetary cool name. That needs to be.
Totally.
I want to make my name Zarek. Would you be mad if I also did it? I just became.
Yeah, we should all call ourselves Zarek.
Let's all be Zarek.
All right, I'm gonna do it. Zarek, thanks, man. Take it easy. Be good.
Thanks,
And,
Zarek.
We'll see
Zarek,
you later.
doing
from
good,
Dayton,
Zarek?
Ohio. Yeah, Zarek. We don't have enough
many
Bryans. Let's just replace them with Zareks. That's fine.
Okay. Yeah, but then
Perfect.
we'll have too many Zareks. Like,
That's
you
true.
can't replace all the brands with the same name.
Yeah, have you ever
Fix the
actually done
purpose.
that? You ever done a find and replace on a word, then realize, oh no, I've been too broad.
Yeah, I have done
Now
that.
I've made a huge mistake.
I have done that in Microsoft Word. You know what I decided
Word.
yesterday? I said this on Twitter, and I really believe it. If I had the skills in spreadsheets that I have in Photoshop, in other words, if I knew spreadsheets the way I know Photoshop, I could do really cool stuff with spreadsheets. And it bugs me because I use spreadsheets now, and I'm terrible at it. I'm like, where's the sum button? Are these added together? I don't know what this
You
formula
use the
is.
sum button. I just go ahead and type it in equals sum. Time to
Oh, is
time
that all
to
you have
type in
to
the
do?
formula.
That's all you have to do? Just equal. See, that's what I don't know. I don't use them in the way that all you whiz kids do. All you kids with your
Whiz kids.
with your
You Zarek whiz kids and your Excel formulas.
Zarek
Yeah, I
whiz
love-
kids.
I love doing my favorite. What's your favorite formula, Brian Dunaway?
Oh my god.
Anything that requires addition to it is my favorite formula because I do budget stuff.
Concatenate.
Oh, concatenate's awesome. Yeah.
What does that even
love
do?
concatenate.
Give me
Concatenate helps a lot. You can create a new column, concatenate something together.
What,
Yeah, I do my Coverville show notes with Concatenate. So I export out my playlist out of iTunes into a text file, open it up, and basically when you open it up in Excel, each track is like, or you got each cell has track name, artist, blah, blah, blah. I use Concatenate to make it all one piece of text. So basically it's like track 1 is this, and it takes the title and then it puts the artist and then it like creates a nice one line of text that has all that stuff.
It's all
And then you
magic.
hide those other columns and you just go
Yep.
about your business.
Exactly.
Dark magic is what you guys are playing with.
Concatenate is my jam.
Brian Dunaway, stay out of trouble. He's Mr. Brian Dunaway.
late.
Or no, sorry, the Brian Dunaway on Twitter. I almost gave you Scott Fletcher's name.
Oh, now I got to go look for Mr. Brian Dunaway too. Crap. Thanks, Scott.
He's nowhere you can find him. Bye. All right.
Look at that. We've given Photoshop tips. We've given Excel tips.
Yeah. We're here to help, dude.
Yes, exactly. Let's see if we can help folks. And we've talked about Norton antivirus. Look at this. It's like we're recording from a Babbage's.
It's pretty intense what we've done here.
Circuit City, live from Circuit City. It's the morning stream.
Yep, with Todd and Aaron. All right, check it out, everybody. It's time for this.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I must go take my vitamins. Your news has upset me greatly.
Oh, it's the news, and it's brought to you by.
Brought to you by Coverville today at 1 p.m. Mountain Time at twitch.tv/Coverville. Hey, John Anderson is having a birthday this month, like an important one, like 65 or 60. I can't remember which because my notes aren't in front of me. But John Anderson, the lead vocalist for the band Yes, he also did some really cool stuff with Vangelis. John and Vangelis. So part of your show is going to be Yes Covers. The other half is going to be an interview I had with the lead singer of Yacht Rock Review. We talk about Michael McDonald. Speaking of which, we talk about Kenny Loggins. We talk about those great influences like Boz Scaggs and Seals and Crofts and all that stuff on Yacht Rock. And we play a couple of songs, including their brand new single, Step. All this today at 1 p.m. Mountain Time at twitch.tv/Coverville. Yeah.
Okay. I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm into it.
Let's get Yacht Rock.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. I like Yacht Rock. All right, check this out. Oh, did you hear? I don't know if you heard this. Sorry, this is kind of news itself. In fact, you know what? I'm going to kill this first story in favor of it. So I don't miss the
Oh,
other.
so we're going to have new news.
This
just in.
This just in, everybody. Well, I don't know if it's just in, but the Michael Mann, Michael Mann, the filmmaker and
yes.
TV auteur.
Michael Mann, what's his power?
Making rad TV show in the 80s and then somehow parlaying that into a successful movie career, Excelsior. That's what he does. He is great. I love Miami Vice. And
we watched for Film Sack.
Heat is so good. Heat is a great movie. I like all his movies. Collateral's great. They're all good. I even kind of like the Miami Vice movie a little bit. It's not great. Yeah. It's not as cool as the show was.
It's better than it had any right to be, and it's probably more because of Michael Mann than because of Colin, or not, what's his name? Not
Colin Farrell.
Colin Farrell. Yes.
Who was the other guy? Jackson Brown.
The other guy was The other guy was
Leroy Stiff.
Jeez. The other guy was freaking
Powdered Toast Jr.
Ray Charles. Jamie Foxx.
Jamie Foxx. That's it.
Yes.
I was close.
Leroy Bastion. What did you say? What name did you go?
I don't even remember. It's all gone now. Marbles out of the straw. Can't remember a thing. Yeah. Anyway, he's making it's for the HBO Max service. He's making an original series called Tokyo Vice, and I could not be more excited about it. Michael Mann returning to his TV roots about a Vice Squad, but it's in Tokyo.
Tokyo Vice. Interesting.
I don't know if it'll be like straight up like subtitled or if it'll be in English or what the deal is. I have no idea.
I imagine there'll be. Yeah, I mean, look, Ansel Elgort.
Ansel Elgort.
Ansel Elgort. You're
who is that?
You're much better Han Solo.
Oh, the one that should have been Han Solo.
The one that should have been Han Solo.
I've heard a lot of people argue that if he had done it, it would have been too much of an impression, and everybody would have felt weird about it. Do you think that's true?
Well, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
He was great. I don't know if you ever saw Baby Driver or if the stink of Kevin Spacey is still keeping you away from that one, but it's worth seeing.
I still mean to see it, and the only reason I haven't is it hasn't been convenient to, but also the Kevin Spacey thing is annoying to me, but because it wasn't that kind of the last big thing before that all broke.
Yeah, totally was.
Damn it.
However, Ansel Elgort is the main dude in that. So like, it's not like you're watching House of Cards, which is mostly Spacey. Spacey's in it. He's he's the
he's the bad guy, isn't he?
The guy that hires him. Well, he's the guy that hires Baby Driver to do some stuff.
Okay.
But the rest, everything non-Kevin Spacey, and even, I don't want to say that Kevin Spacey's really good in it, but he is. But the rest of the movie is fantastic.
Yeah, nobody questions his acting. He's amazing.
Yeah, but the synchronization, the way they use music to synchronize the story in Baby Driver is brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely brilliant.
Makes it all the sadder that he's such a great actor and is such a douche. You know what I mean?
Yep,
like some lost
Anyway,
talent.
so with Ansel Elgort in this Tokyo Vice thing, I'm guessing it's going to be, he's a cop from New York. He's partnered with a cop from Tokyo, and they're going to clean up the streets of
Tokyo,
of Shibuya.
I'm in. I'm totally in on this.
I'm totally in too. Are you kidding me? Yeah,
it sounds great. I think I was already kind of into the HBO Max idea just because it parlays what I'm already doing HBO.
Sure.
So it's just a matter of getting all that WB stuff.
Well, getting all the I'm excited about getting all the DC stuff because
Mm-hmm.
I've been on the fence about just signing up for DC Universe
right.
and getting all the shows there because I hear great things about all of those, and but now it's like, all right, it's coming to HBO Max. I can wait till 2020. What are they saying? Like March 2020 for
early,
HBO Max?
Early in the year, I think. Yeah, I think it sounds good. I was talking to Nick last night about the whole how many services there are, and he's like, doesn't it make you just hate it? And I go, no. And he goes, well, it's like cable again. And I said, well, that's different. Here's the one difference. Cable was 200 channels, most of which you didn't want. You were required to pay it, and you had a 2-year contract. Right. And you just had to do it. Like, there was no other option. Right. This, and most of that was commercial filled. This stuff is kind of a la carte. Now, you might say, well, I only want this thing on Netflix. Okay, cool. Just sub to that. And if something shows up on Hulu you want to try, we'll go do that for a bit. But if you didn't like it after a month, get out. Like, we have more control than we've ever had. To me, that is not only the main difference, it is the most important difference compared to what the whole cable life was like. So,
man, so whoever comes up with, and here's $1 million idea for an app creation for someone listening to us right now.
All right.
Create an app that will automatically, that'll either prompt you, like on your phone, 5 days before the end of the month, so you can get out of any of those services that you're currently subscribed to. And with one touch, it will go, like you can say, yeah, I think I'm done with Hulu this month, and it'll automatically bump you out of Hulu. Like, you'll just hit a button and say, I only care about Netflix and HBO right now. And so it'll like bump you out of all those other ones.
So I 100% agree with you. Here's the problem I can see.
You have to put in all your code, all of your login information into this one app.
Well, that's part of it. But if you trust them, that's still okay.
Sure.
The big hang up would be the services themselves could easily stop that, because they would require other verification.
Sure.
They would know that this request is coming from kind of a robot, not a person.
Yeah. All right.
I don't know.
So
you're
make
right.
it feel human.
You're right.
So hire me to go and turn on. I will call each and every one of you 5 days before the end of the month and say, you still want Hulu? All right, good. You still want Netflix? Okay, good. All right, you still want DC Universe? Okay, good.
Just go manual.
And then I'll manually turn them off for you with the ones you don't want.
Yeah, just go manual. You got it. I think that'll work. Hey, look at this news. This is kind of sad. The star of E.T., the extraterrestrial, got arrested for an alleged DUI. Not the alien, not the little girl or the brother, the dick brother, but Henry Thomas, the little kid.
Wow.
Yeah.
Would have totally. I mean, Drew Barrymore had her problems, so
right. She's done.
Maybe
with
she was the one who got him into drinking.
I don't know. I mean, he was great in Haunting of Hill House last year, so
he was.
I don't know why he's doing this. But anyway, he got drunk and drove.
Did he get one phone call? And
did he use it to phone home? Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. Yes. Did he use a speak and spell tied to an umbrella and?
Yeah. Did the jailer say, "All right, stay in your cell until I tell you to come to the bars"? And did he say, "I'll be right here"? Anyway, best known for his role as Elliot in the 1982 film E.T. the Extraterrestrial, was arrested on Monday, according to police. This was in Oregon. Jennifer Massey, public information officer of the Talutin Police Office, or Department rather, told CNN that a concerned passerby called police about a suspicious-looking vehicle that was stopped in a lane of travel. Subsequent investigations by the officer resulted in them finding Thomas, age 48 now, being arrested and charged with driving under the influence of intoxicants.
He did the right thing. He just stopped. I know he's in the middle of traffic.
In the middle of traffic.
He probably just said, "Oh crap, I'm drunk. You know what? I'm just gonna stop right here. I'm stopping while intoxicated." An SUI he's got.
I love how they say this. They said directed by Steven Spielberg, E.T. made Thomas a child star when the film debuted in '82. The actor has gone on to other roles as an adult, including Netflix's The Haunting of Hill House. That's all true, but he's actually had kind of a wide berth.
He has.
What was the one with Brad Pitt and he was called Tristan? What was that?
Exactly, because you can't remember the name of it, but you can remember E.T. and Haunting of Hill House.
Yeah, but everyone loved that movie. It was Brad Pitt and Anthony Hopkins and
Meet Joe Black.
No, the other one, Out in the Woods. And they have to fight a bear.
Oh, not the gray.
It's when Tristan came from. The name of your kid's popular.
Yeah, the Legends of the
Legends of the Fall. That's it.
What's the Legends of the Fall? Legends of the Fall. Yes.
Yeah, he was in that.
That's not where the name Tristan came from, by the way.
Oh no, I know that. I just am saying that's very popular.
I'm just gonna hang up right now if you say that ever again.
It was at the time. I remember a whole bunch of people started naming their kid that.
Yes.
And I remember being annoyed. And then and then when I met you told me, I think the first thing you told me was, "This is Tristan, and no, he's not named after Brad Pitt and that whatever."
Might have been.
I think that sounds right.
When we met in Salt Lake City after watching Dark Knight, I think.
Yeah, Dark Knight.
Maybe?
Which
Yeah.
is hilarious. I have to watch Dark Knight tonight because tomorrow's tomorrow's current Geek Film Festival movie is The Dark Knight. So
Oh, great.
funny you brought that up.
Wow. And then you should go see Joker afterwards so that you can compare and contrast the two actors.
Yep. Then I'll watch a Tim Burton movie and then
There
be
you go.
reminded how those don't hold up as well as people
Leave
think they
them
do.
with a smile.
CNN reached
Now
out.
play some Prince music. That
Wait, which one was that? The second one?
was the first one. It was Prince and his bat dance.
When did what's his name come in with his kiss on a rose in the plane or whatever?
Seal was Batman and Robin, or
Oh, maybe
it was one of the Joel Schumacher ones.
Oh, one of the nipple ones. Okay.
Batman Forever, yes.
Yeah.
I compare you to a kiss from a rose. Oh man, I'm slipping to Michael McDonald for that one. I can't seal without Michael McDonalding. I'm gonna say a kiss from a rose.
on a plane.
I'm just gonna lean full into Michael McDonald.
For some reason, it's in a plane to me in the lyrics. I know that's not it. It's not piss on a rose on a plane, but what is it? A kiss from a kiss from a rose on the plane. No?
What is that? Yeah, I don't know what is the next lyric? What is the? I compare you to a kiss from a rose.
On the plane.
What are those three words? On the grave? Kiss from a rose on a grave?
Grave? Oh. I always thought it was a plane. Never paid attention to it. Shows what I know.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to take a break. When we come back, Tom Merritt will be here. We're going to talk.
I do like all the versions that other people are coming up with. Kiss from a toad on a plane.
Yeah.
In the rain. It's now Dr. Seuss, basically, is what this has become.
Well done, guys. That's what we bring this chat room here for. So Tom will be here. Nicole will be here. Come on back for all of that. In the meantime, Brian brought a song. He will play it for us now.
Yes, I will. And Else, the band Else. Now, you know a member of the band Else because he's a contestant in America's Next Top Podcaster, Shane Maddox, who we've met at a couple Nerdtacular or a couple TMS Vegases.
Yeah.
He is a member of this band Else. I'm trying to see if he says what he plays, but he doesn't. Anyway, they've got a brand new album they're releasing. It's called Through What We Knew. It comes out December 13th. And let's see here. We're releasing our second studio album, Through What We Knew, on December 13th at Barley Pop Live in Madison. It references the writing process with some song origins dating back over a decade, some only a few years, all instilled with things that they've learned and experienced along the way. This is great. And Shane is awesome. The band Else is awesome. Look for him and make sure you buy this album on December 13th when it comes out. Shane Maddox, the band Else. Here's the song, Everclear.
Daphne's desserts are so original. Look at her pie. Upside down. How clever.
Wow.
This is the morning stream. Excuse me while I whip this out.
You know, when you hear Stevie Nicks without any backing music, she sounds totally different.
I agree. It's just not what you expect. Yeah, it's this dog. It's just I heard it on a YouTube video and I was like, I gotta capture that. That's freaking weird.
I know, it sounds like he's saying something too. By the way, Shane Maddox, or Shave Maddox as he is in the chat room, is vocalist for Else. So that's him you're hearing.
Oh, that's cool.
Singing, doing the singing right there in Everclear.
That's super cool. What's with all these talented people you got going on?
I know. I love the fact that we have talented people who listen to this show and give us stuff.
It's nutty. Nutty.
Give us their stuff to listen to and hear and enjoy and see and read.
Well, one of those guys is Tom Merritt.
He is talented and he writes really good stuff that we like to read.
Yeah, and he gives of his time pretty freely to come on here and hang out with us.
I'll say.
So we're going to play this for him.
No wonder you haven't been paying my invoices.
Ah! Now it's all come out. Hey, check this out. I have a theme for you.
With the computer, as with any tool, the concept and direction must come from the man.
That man is the one, the only, the usual Tom Merritt. And when I say usual, I don't mean that in a deprecating.
Boy, that makes it sound so So ordinary. The usual Tom Merritt.
The usual Tom
Oh, you have
Merritt.
your usual Scott? Tom
Yeah.
Merritt? Yes,
Yeah,
thanks.
That's the one. Tom comes on Wednesdays, talks about tech. We love his show, the Daily Tech News Show, and so this is a little bit of like a morning prep for that in a way. It's just kind of fun. I'm on Wednesdays as well, so that's also fun for me. And honestly, it feels like, I don't know about you, but it always feels like the end of October goes a little quiet for tech. Is it because there's like shows coming up, like different conferences and things, or is it just me? It just feels like there's a slow in things. I mean, you're hearing about, Zuckerberg's testifying in front of Congress right now about the freaking Bitcoin thing here they're trying to make and blah, 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 blah. But it still feels like the actual tech is slows at this time of the year. Am I wrong about that?
I don't know. I am unable to answer these questions in an unbiased fashion because I never think that the tech news has actually slowed. I get up every day, I look at the tech news, I'm like, oh my gosh, there's so many interesting things here. And on a day that other people like yourself are calling slow, I'm like, oh good, we get a chance to talk about some stuff that we wouldn't normally be able to fit in because of all these stupid announcements from the big companies. So I just have a really weird perspective. You're not the only one that does this. Almost all the other people I work with on DTNS will be like, it's kind of a slow news day today, and I'll just keep my mouth shut and be like, yeah,
not really.
For me, yeah, I'm one of the guys. You know? But I do sort of intellectually understand what you mean by that, which is there aren't a lot of big announcements. Like you said, Zuckerberg testifying, Google publishing the paper on quantum supremacy. You know, those are your headlines days. But it is not top to bottom full of like Apple announced, Amazon announced, Google announced, all of that sort of stuff. And I think that happens because all the companies want to get their announcements out in time for the holidays. They want to launch their products, get them into the supply chain in time for people to do holiday shopping. And so there's a little bit of a beat to tech news over the year where during the summer, especially July and into early August, you've got the in advance of vacation, we started to shut down the press machine. And so you see fewer of those press releases then. And then it ramps way up in September and October with all the announcements for holiday products. And then, there's a little bit of a dip again. Kind of sort of comes back up in November with what people are buying, people trying products and finding things out about them, and then dips back down in December. And then, of course, CES happens at the beginning of January, and boom, we're off to the races again.
Yeah. But also, I didn't mean to give this any kind of short shrift, but I guess the new Pixel 4 phone's out. That's a big deal. That just happened, right?
Yeah, I'm supposed to get mine today, so I'll be looking forward to trying it. And like with all major product launches, every little thing that is possibly wrong with it is getting blasted across the headline.
Yeah, totally is.
Yeah. Public service message to those in the audience: don't ramp down the intensity of every headline you read about any new product launch by about 2/3, because no product launches without flaws, and any little flaw that is found makes for great clicks. And so it's just natural for press outlets to want to blast them out there as big, even if they're only affecting a small number of users. For instance, this thing where the Pixel 4 only does the 90 hertz refresh rate when you're at the full brightness level or at a very bright level, and then otherwise it ramps down to 60 hertz.
That just drives me nuts.
Millions of people who didn't care at all about 90 hertz are now suddenly outraged that this is happening. Yeah,
it's a little weird though. I'm sorry, I'm getting hung up in the tech weeds on this. Why would that be different at high brightness?
Because that's when you can actually notice it. Because it's bright enough to really see it. And sure, you can notice it at the lower brightness level. 90 hertz also really does suck the battery down more. So you limiting when it would be used. Although brightness also sucks the battery down too. So
interesting. Yeah, I hadn't heard that, but that I could see how that's one of those things where people are going to be all noticey now, right? They're going to be constantly going,
and somebody found this out and either put it on Reddit or Twitter. I can't remember now. Oh my gosh, when you bring the brightness below, the Disturbed Angel saying it's 75%. That sounds about right. It goes down to 60 hertz, and then that got a bunch of people to say, I'm not getting every 90 hertz wherever I want it. I'm angry. I'm not saying that's ideal. Yeah, I as a user would like to have 90 hertz however I want it. But it also isn't like the product's broken or anything.
Right. It reminds me, though, kind of like back when the iPhone 6s were reportedly easy to bend. And then I remember the next day, everybody's like looking at their phone going, did mine bend? Did I bend it a little? I can't tell. I think it might be bent. And
Right. It's a psychological phenomenon where if someone suggests something might be wrong, everyone sees it.
Yeah.
Totally.
It's like the Bader-Meinhof effect, except for flaws.
Speaking of which,
learning new words.
So did they do this as a big? I know they'd previously announced it at the last Google event, but this wasn't like did they make a big launch event out of it or do anything huge? Because I felt like it kind of went under the radar a little bit.
What, the Pixel 4?
Yeah, I don't know why. I mean, I'm not really in my purview.
There was a huge press conference. It was an hour long. They announced like 6 new products.
I remember that. That's what I'm saying. I remember when they did all that, but the actual launch felt quiet, and I don't know why that would be any different. Maybe that's how.
Maybe
it
it's
always
because you only care about Apple products.
I mean, I care about it from I don't know. I like to watch.
I care that they exist.
Yeah, I like to watch all tech do things. Like
I'll try not to be I'll try not to wheedle you, Scott. But I really do think that it's probably because you don't use those products and you're not as excited about them. If you were using a Pixel 3 right now, you'd probably be like, oh my gosh, this is great, because I'm seeing it all over the place. There's write-ups about it everywhere.
Yeah, you're probably right. I don't know. I just felt like there would have been a bigger deal at launch, but because the otherwise quiet time wouldn't feel so quiet if I had noticed that phone coming out.
Well, this week is when like the Pixel 4 reviews have been avalanching, and people have actually been getting them shipped to them, and so there's a lot about it out there. For sure.
Well, anything else knocking at your door that you think is?
Yeah, I mean, I do want to talk about the today on DTNS. We'll talk a little bit more about Google's quantum supremacy. I'm not sure how much. We did a really good episode when the paper leaked. So Google has a paper claiming they have achieved quantum supremacy. It leaked on a NASA website. We did an episode about what that meant back then. And today, Google actually got the paper published in Nature. So Google wasn't talking about it because it was in the journal pipeline. This is peer-reviewed research. It's a legitimate paper.
Yeah.
What's interesting about it is I'll try not to get too wonky here, but the idea of quantum supremacy is that a quantum computer could do any particular kind of calculation that a classical computer couldn't. And when we say couldn't, we don't mean not possible, but not practical. So what Google's paper says is that Google's Sycamore quantum computer was able to calculate this evaluation and generation of random numbers in 200 seconds, when it would take a supercomputer, like the most powerful classical computer we have right now, 10,000 years. So not that the classical computer couldn't do it, but it's an impractically long amount of time, right? And so that's quantum supremacy. A quantum computer can do a thing, any example of a thing, better than a classical computer. And that's just a milestone along the road of developing quantum computers. It's like, oh, we finally got to the point where a quantum computer can actually do this, and a classical computer really couldn't. However, IBM yesterday, probably with some inside info that the Nature article was publishing today, said they had figured out a method where a classical computer could do that same calculation in 2.5 days.
Oh, geez.
IBM hasn't done that.
Yeah.
But if their method proved true, then that really wouldn't be quantum supremacy. 200 seconds is certainly a lot faster than 2.5 days, but 2.5 days is practical, right?
Sure. It seems like doable, right? Like you're not talking about months.
Yeah.
Or a year
and
or something.
What you want with quantum supremacy is something where like, we just never would use a classical computer to do this because it would take too long or use too many resources or whatever.
Sure.
And so Google's claiming quantum supremacy. When the paper was leaked a month ago, everybody was like, yeah, this isn't a terribly useful thing, creating these random numbers in 200 seconds. We can create random enough numbers faster on a classical computer, but doing it this way proves that quantum computers have reached that point where they can do something, even if it's not something widely useful. And if IBM's right, then it's going to be like, well, who really was the first to fly? Was it the Wright brothers, or did those French people do it first? Was that actually flying? Like, we're in that part of the debate now of like, is it really quantum supremacy? And so we'll see how that shakes out.
I kind of wish they used a different word, not because it's that I can't separate the use of supremacy in certain contexts, but because it just is going to piss off robots later. Do you know what I mean?
we're just like giving them more ammunition for when they take over.
Yeah, when they're going to be mad at us for whatever various reasons. One of them will be that we introduced the kind of nomenclature that divides robot kind by putting supremacy around some of the stuff they do. I'm just
well,
saying.
do you think there'll be robots that are non-quantum that'll be upset at the term quantum supremacy?
I do. I think they're going to be
I think you're
riots.
reading too much Facebook.
I'm more enjoying the fact that every time Tom whacks his desk or he claps his hands, his dog barks.
Yeah, every time. I think it's
Well, she's very into quantum supremacy. And she entirely agrees with Scott that it's not inappropriate.
Yeah, it doesn't seem right. Anyway, we'll see how that goes. I'm very excited to talk on the show today. As always, it's at 2:30 Mountain Time. If you don't watch it live, you should. But even if you don't, you can also catch it later via the podcast and, of course, the Patreon and all that stuff. So support great tech coverage, everybody. It's important. Tom, anything else going on you'd like to mention?
Yeah, we're just a week away from the end of October, which is the beginning of the first round of our new Patreon rewards. We haven't changed all of them. A lot of them are the same, but there's a bunch of new ones in there, and I'm excited to deliver them. If you would like to be in on receiving them, go check them out. We've got new rewards and new levels at patreon.com/DTNS.
That sounds really good. Ladies and gentlemen, Tom Merritt, Ace Detect on Twitter. Take it easy. See you this afternoon. Bye now.
See ya.
All right, then. Yeah, it's very good, right?
It was very good. Very good. Very good.
I still don't know what I'm recommending. You know what? I'm just not going to do one. Or I'll just tell you without a clip. That's what I'll do. That's fine. Because the clip is just a thing. I think I already maybe mentioned it.
You did. You kind of talked about it on Monday's show.
Yeah. I think I did. Didn't we? Who were we talking to? Some phone call prompted it or something.
We were talking to Brian Dunaway, I think.
Oh, maybe it was Dunaway.
Because we didn't get Schleicher and we didn't get Trek Nerd. No, it might have been part of the call now. Yeah,
because we did call now for most of that day. Maybe. Who knows? At the end of the day, does it even matter? I'll tell you what. Probably not, but this does, so let me play it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the program, the one, the only, the Nicole Spagnoli. Hello. Whoa. There's your mic.
Wow. Leads off with an S-bomb.
Yep.
It's kind of fitting. Right?
Yeah, it is. There's so many S-bombs on the show.
Out the Sweet Nicole intro.
I got some emails.
People were all ticked about that. They all were like mad, like she was going after me or something. But I didn't feel that way at all. In fact, you know what's funny is I kind of agreed with you, and I don't know if anyone's noticed, but way less S-bombs from Scott since then.
Yeah.
And didn't
notice until you just said that. Good point.
So there's a beautiful irony in the fact that you dropped one as you came on the show today.
My microphone wasn't working, so I'm like scrambling and yeah.
That's pretty good.
That's all right. Another show that Mateo can't listen to.
I am not a pure, like you said. I got the potty mouth too, and I'm just very cautious of. Obviously, when I don't think I'm on mic,
that's when it comes
my
out.
Mic was off.
We have that new Modern Warfare is coming out, and it's all I can think of is just how much you'd swear in that multiplayer. I think about it all the time. I don't even know if I'm getting that game.
Grenards!
Anyway, grenards!
Give me the grenards!
She used to call grenades grenards. It was a great time, you guys. It was the best of times.
I missed it.
It was really fun.
I missed doing that.
It was really fun.
I'm still playing Borderlands 3 though.
Do you remember that time we played with oh shoot, now his name has left me.
Is it John?
No, we were playing with Liam, me, you,
Liam,
and Troy Baker. And it was before Troy Baker had exploded. It was right before, actually. So he was just like, schlubbing it with the rest of the VO people. He hadn't had his big moment yet. And he did this an impression the whole time of what's his name from 30 Rock, I can't think of his name.
Chuck Donaghy, Alec Baldwin.
No, one that got hit by a car recently.
Oh yeah, Tracy Morgan.
Tracy Morgan. He does this amazing Tracy Morgan impression.
That's right. I forgot about that. Well, and then you got Liam doing. Who was he doing?
It's been so long, I don't remember.
I know. I'm like going.
Walken or somebody. It was some really amazing. Yeah. And so these two are having this improv back and forth, professional voice actor joke-a-thon while we're trying to play Modern Warfare 2. It was so fun. It was so much fun. And then that guy took off and no one ever saw him again. Well, that's not true. He's still a nice guy, but he's very busy now.
He went
Anyway.
and voiced Bioshock Infinite too.
He did. I think that was maybe one of the
such a
big
good
next
game.
things he did. But by the time it rolled around that he was the main voice for Last of Us, that was it. He was in the new tier of popular voice dudes.
The Nolan North tier.
Yes. Only Nolan, and they do a cool YouTube show together about old games, like retro gaming.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's very good. People should watch that. Speaking of Nolan North, anyway. So hey, it's recommendals.
Anyway.
Let's do these here. I like recommendals; they're fun, and we usually start with Brian. Brian, I don't see any reason why we should change that tradition. So,
All right, you sure? Okay. Well, I teased this at the beginning of the week, talking about something that Tina and I just finished binge watching, and that should give a hint that it's a multi-episode series, something relatively new on Netflix.
Ooh, all right. I just got to make sure I'm throwing away the right one because there's an old one in here. Not throwing it away, but using the right one. Okay, there it is. All right, here we go. This is Brian's recommendal. Enjoy.
Your dad was traveling so much that year that he made me this video.
How's Dion doing? I miss my little man. I'm telling you, Nicole, that kid is something special.
I know.
You're such a special kid. You're charming, smart, very handsome.
Mom.
Pat said you were asking about your dad.
My mom won't tell me what happened. Just says it was a storm.
Mister, I've got your doll.
Okay, I have a guess.
Please guess.
Eli on Netflix.
It is not.
Okay.
But it is another one.
I think
that
the chat
contains a
room
name.
got it.
Did the chat
Raising Dion.
Oh.
It is Raising Dion. They say Dion a few times in that clip. Yeah, it's a brand new series on Netflix. Well, relatively new. I guess you can't call it brand new when it's over 3 weeks or 2 weeks old these days, as quickly as they put stuff out. But it is a superhero show. I don't know if it's based on a comic. I don't think it is, but I could be wrong on that. It's nothing that I'd heard of before, but it's basically tells the story of a single mom raising her son Dion. Her name is Nicole. So hearing her say, Nicole, you got a very special kid. It's great. Yeah. She's raising her son Dion, who develops superpowers, and this is the story of how he deals with it, how she deals with it. You're not gonna see this come Emmy time, but it's well done. It's very, I'd say it's younger kid friendly, not super young kid friendly, but I think Mateo probably. Would you let Mateo see like the Percy Jackson films, or maybe any Marvel movie that does not contain Endgame or Infinity War?
It's so funny because he's in this mode now where he's trying to convince me that he can handle scary.
Mm-hmm.
And I know he can't handle scary.
Yeah.
Sure.
We started to watch Dark Crystal and he's like, "Ah!" I'm like, all right, off.
Oh, really? Okay.
And so I don't know, because he's trying to talk me into letting him play Hello Neighbor.
Oh, that's you sneak around a lot and do
Yes,
this jump
a
scare
lot
stuff.
of it's a lot of jump scare.
Yeah.
He was trying to also convince me to let him play, what is it, Bendy and the Ink Machine, and I started to play that. I'm like, oh no.
Oh, that game is scary. That game is weird looking to me.
So he wants to do he wants to do scary games, but how is he with scary movies and TV shows? Like
I don't.
I mean, Dark
think-
Crystal. You said he kind of.
Yeah, he kind of. I'm basing it on, does he have a nightmare?
Right.
Sure.
After. So.
As bad as this gets, it never gets really bad, and it does ramp up. So, he could watch it up until the point that he's like, yeah, maybe this is too much for me. But I don't know. I think he might get a kick out of this if he likes superhero stuff, because it is.
Yeah,
this does
maybe.
feel like it is more targeted towards a younger audience. Alicia Wainwright plays the mom. She, you might know her from some show that she was on. Shadowhunters. Does that either of those sound familiar?
That doesn't sound familiar to
I
me.
don't know what that is.
No, doesn't sound. Anyway, Shadowhunters, freeform television series Shadowhunters.
Oh.
But it's more famously, it's got Michael B. Jordan, who's also a producer, executive producer on this. It's got Jason Ritter, who you all know as being this kind of lovable doofus.
Jack Tripper's son, right?
Yes, exactly. The non-musical Jack Tripper's son.
John Ritter, yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't
So-
think of his real name. It's like Jack Tripper coming up. Yeah.
Brian Bo. That's a hard name to say. Brian Bobite.
Nope. Give it to again. Do it again. Do it again. I want to hear it again.
Brian Bobite.
Yeah.
Right.
Let's go for it. I like it.
Just ask me if Mateo's ever watched Monster House or Coraline. I attempted to show him both.
I love those movies.
And he didn't.
He didn't do it. Yep. My kid's
didn't
same
do it.
age, same problem. So he's just the average
Yeah,
kid.
he's
That
a normal
stuff.
kid, yeah.
That stuff
But
just
he
freaks
probably
out.
deals a lot with the anticipation of the scary is almost
Yeah.
as scary as the scary stuff. So if you
Right.
if you don't tell him this has anything, which like I said doesn't really have anything super scary
Right.
in it, but if you don't tell him, I wonder how well he'd do with it.
Can I tell you a funny story? What happened this weekend with Mateo?
Yeah,
sure.
So we had a really rough weekend. It was just I don't know what was in the water, but both my kids lost their minds this weekend. And I just needed some peace. I needed to smile. So I went down and we have a home theater in the basement. So I went in there, closed the door, and I put on Rocky Horror.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
Picture show because
Yeah.
I just love it. It just makes me happy.
Did you throw
So I'm
toast at the
watching-
screen? Toast and hot dogs at the screen by yourself? Or?
Yeah, do you bring a squirt gun and spray into the air when it's raining and all that?
So Ava came in with the intro with the lips, and
yeah.
she's like fascinated with the big lips and the teeth, and so when you were watching that, the lips go away and it shows like the credits.
Sure.
And she's like, "Where did the lips go?" So I'm like, "They'll be back. They'll be back."
Yeah, don't
And so
worry.
she watched that with me, and then she got bored and she left. So I'm watching all the way. We're up to the time warp.
Uh-huh.
Time warp ends. Frankenfurter's coming down.
Yeah.
And he goes into his sweet transvestite song.
Right.
And Mateo did what he did to me during Twin Peaks.
Mommy.
He showed up on the side of me. He's like, "What?" I was like, "Oh, it's Rocky Horror. Get out of here."
Why is that man wearing nothing but weird underwear?
I laughed so hard. I was like, "Get out of here."
Oh, that's too bad.
Oh my God. Yeah.
That can happen.
Yeah. it
So
was-
if I'm really working hard on Tina, trying to get her to do a midnight Rocky Horror, watch it in the theater kind of thing, because I feel like that's the way you need to see Rocky Horror. If I'm able to get her to do that, you come with us?
I would. I'm really like just talking about it. I get a little nervous.
We won't
thing in
tell
my
anybody
stomach.
that you're Rocky virgins. We won't say a thing. We're gonna act like
Okay.
old hat. We're here all
Oh
the
yeah,
time.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and now I remember why people threw hot dogs at our screen. Because everyone always asks, why are you doing that? That's not in the thing. It's because for Frankenfurter, because of his name. So when he
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, because when I was in high school, we were all throwing like raw hot dogs out of the bag at the screen when that happened, when he came down.
What a mess, because those are all wet and slimy and gross.
I agree. It's freaking meat products.
Meat
It's like
juice.
a terrible
Yeah.
idea. Like hot dog water is the worst water. We all know that, right?
Yes, it
People in Flint are like, hot dog water's worse than this. Oh, that's probably too soon. I shouldn't make fun
That's
of Flint.
too soon.
I'm not making fun of Flint. I'm making fun of hot dog water. Anyway.
I know what you mean. We know,
you know,
your
yeah.
heart is in the hot dog water.
Yes, the fart is in the hot dog water.
your heart is in the hot dog water.
All right. Well done.
Anyway, all right, so Raising Dion, brand new on
Yes.
Netflix.
Yeah, there you go.
9 episodes. They're about 30-40 minutes each. Totally quick watch and a good little superhero story. Cute.
I think it sounds like fun. I saw it on there and wondered about it. So nice to hear that it's good.
Did I say fart or heart?
You
in
said
your hot
fart
dog
the
water?
first time, but that was
No, I swear I said heart.
or maybe I said fart. I may have said fart. Or maybe I thought you said fart and then they all wrote it down. I don't
It's
know.
funnier if I would have said fart, but I said heart. I meant heart.
This is all true. All right. Mine doesn't have a clip because I'm lame and forgot to do it. So I am going to give you a recommendation, though. I think I'm recommending it. I'm still sort of on the fence. But in 2013 or 12, can't remember which for sure, a movie came out called The Conjuring. And I remember hearing about it. People flocked to theaters to see it. It ended up making a ton of money, some like $600 and something million in the box office, which for its paltry budget of like 20 million, it was an insane amount of profit. And I had heard it was the guy who made the first Saw movie, then figured out, oh, that's James Wan. Oh, wait a minute, James Wan, he made that Fast and Furious 7 movie. and that everyone liked the most. Oh, and then he also went on to do the Aquaman deal. So he's kind of, exploded. But he started with Saw, and then he did producer credits on the other Saw movies, but kind of moved on. And then directed and wrote The Conjuring, directed and wrote the one about the kid. What's that one called? Not The Conjuring. It's
The Grudge?
No, it's another one that also has Patrick Wilson in it. Insidious, that's it.
Insidious, okay.
And now both those movies are franchises. They have multiple films, and he's doing another one right now. He's getting ready to write and direct the next Conjuring movie. And I thought I should just finally watch one of these movies. If everyone thinks they're good, maybe these are okay. That's when I learned that Patrick Wilson is in all horror movies now.
What did you watch?
I watched The Conjuring.
Oh, The Conjuring.
And
is that on Netflix?
Yes, it was the first one. I think 2 might be on there as well. But it's the first one, and the whole idea is it's supposed to sort of be loosely based on a real story of these like ghost hunter couple.
They're always loosely based on a story.
I know, and
that's
it's
how
all,
they get people in.
It's all horse crap. But the one fun part about it was you could actually go and read interviews with these people. So they were real people, and they claim the movie got it right, and I think everyone's full of shit. Crap. And so I decided to read that.
It's funny that during this is when it
when it came out. But anyway, so I did a lot of that I went down a rabbit hole and just I kind of like it when they're based on at least some real people, because then you can dig around and find out what the deal is. Anyway, I liked it. I don't know if it's that scary. It's got moments for sure. There's stuff in there, but this is the big complaint I was talking to Brian about haunted houses. The rules are all over the place, and I don't like that. I need them to stick to what the rules are. Can they move objects or can't they? Are they corporeal or not?
It's the Superman problem. Let's just create a new thing that the haunted house can do or that the ghost can do, and how are you supposed to be able to fight something that can come up with new powers anytime they want?
Yeah, and even it's almost worse than the Superman problem because it's even hard to figure out what you actually counter it with, because at one point it's just reading a passage from the Bible. That's all you needed the whole time. Well, freaking read it all day then. What are you doing? But then there were other times where that didn't work, and that Bible got smacked out of your hands, and the girl got pulled by her hair. But before, there was no physical interaction. It's that kind of stuff drives me up a wall. I think that all haunted house films and TV shows all have this problem, all of them to some degree. I think Haunting of Hill House got it the most right because the focus wasn't on that stuff.
I still need to watch that.
That's a great series. I want to watch that again. I may watch that again just because I loved it so much.
Halloween.
Yeah,
it's perfect for Halloween.
That
would drive a person to drink.
It could. That's what Henry Thomas would tell you. But that thing gets it the most right, not because the rules are any better, but because they focus on that family and the interactions between the characters, and that made that a much better experience than most haunted houses where the focus is the house. Yeah. So I'm recommending this because I think it's a good one of those, but it still have the problem that one of those has. So The Conjuring, your mileage may vary. I enjoyed myself.
Ask for my name.
Yeah. And I'll definitely probably check what Conjuring 2
where's
is
it
like.
streaming?
Netflix.
Netflix.
Yeah. Netflix has it. They also have Insidious 1 at least, and they have, I think that was out of the James Wan stuff, but anyway. He's quite the auteur these days, making horror movies, making big budget movies. He's quite the dude. He's a righteous dude. All right.
Righteous dude.
Nicole, what do you have? What did you bring?
All right. I'm going to send it to you right now.
Okay.
Scroll down.
Brian, look away.
Okay.
Look away. Okay, there you
go.
Look
away.
I'm looking.
Shithole. My home this is. All right, here we go. Oh, I caught a glimpse, and I'm sad I did, but I really want to see this season. All right, here we go. I'll play it.
We're searchers, you and me. But you deserve a chance to make a place in the world. See, I'm a searcher who just wants to settle. Wants it bad. Just can't seem to find that place that'll live up to you, my perfection.
You want to tell me what you're doing in this place?
Well, that's a fine thing to say to a customer.
Customer who has brought the host of problems to my town, which already has enough problems.
You don't know a cock-a-doodie thing about us.
All right.
I was hoping you would wait till that one.
Yeah, I saw this. So I saw this trailer, I don't know, a week ago, and I knew that line was coming. So I was like, I am staying here till that line comes.
That's funny. I don't know what that is.
This is season 2 of Castle Rock. Starts today. I haven't watched it. I watched the first season of Castle Rock, which you haven't watched. If you have Hulu, watch the first season of Castle Rock. This is an anthology story. So the first season of Castle Rock is contained, and now we're starting a second season of a new story. This is the prequel to Misery.
Yeah, that's Lizzie Kaplan is the
Yes.
Kathy Bates character.
Yeah.
That's exactly what
Isn't it
you're
also,
hearing.
isn't
talking about that one?
the,
Yeah.
what's his name? Andy Dufresne in this. I can't think of his name. Tim
Yes. Robbins?
Tim
Tim
Robbins.
Robbins.
Really?
He was the store guy. Is he the Needful Things store guy? Because they cross over a lot,
Ooh,
right?
Oh, I love how they just are bringing in this series.
Because it's
all
all
the
it's all
different-
cinematic universe.
Yeah, it's all Stephen King-averse stuff. So it's like,
And I'm such a huge Stephen King fan, so this is like, I just love it.
yeah.
I'm like, that's yeah. It
Yeah.
probably is. I don't know. I haven't had a chance. Needful Things was such a great book.
Yeah, it's I mean, Needful Things was amazing. The film adaptation they did for that was kind of bad.
Yeah, it was.
But there are a lot of examples of that. That's why we are living in like freaking Renaissance time, King time, because
Yeah.
everything that seems to be coming out of adaptations of King's work lately is great, if not good. Like it was a bona fide hit and should have
Yeah.
been, and was kind of a bad TV thing back in the day. Like it's like the time is right. That's why I want them to get this Dark Tower series that's under production right now. That I couldn't be more excited about that because all this other stuff is just hitting.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
I'm really excited about that. So I wonder
So
I wonder if Tim Robbins really is that dude. I want to find out
I
now.
don't know. I like I said, it just the first, and I think they're not dumping everything. It's one of those weekly releases. So the first episode releases today. And I'll be watching that tonight.
Nice.
Yay.
Nice.
So, but there's a ton. So it's perfect. It's Halloween time. There's a ton of Stephen King streaming on Amazon Prime and Netflix. So the ones I'll recommend to you on Amazon, Creepshow 2 is streaming. I love Creepshow. I don't know. I just like those little stories.
Yeah, I like Creepshow too.
Yeah.
I like Creepshow as well.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure I like Creepshow too.
What's wrong with Creepshow 2?
We just watched it for Film Sack. It's not that. It's
didn't
it's
like it?
okay. No, it's
It's
fine.
okay.
It's just
It's not as fun as Creepshow 1.
One. Well,
Yeah.
I know you also did did Film Sack on Dreamcatcher. I really liked Dreamcatcher.
When was Dreamcatcher? Well, we don't just watch movies we hate though. We see all sorts of
I know,
stuff we
I know.
like. Like we just
So
did Panic Room.
Dreamcatcher was Morgan Freeman. It had Jason Lee in it. There was the group of friends.
Oh, we did do
Kinda-
Dreamcatcher. Yep.
Yeah.
At the cabin, and Jason Lee ends up dying on a toilet or
yeah.
something.
Yeah, or
Right.
something.
Yes.
Yeah.
Children of the Corn, which is a classic. This is also streaming on Amazon.
Yeah.
Malachi.
Hate that kid.
I was a kid and I wanted to watch this movie so badly, and my mom wouldn't let me. And so I remember watching it upside down from the stairs. I wanted to watch it so bad.
Nothing wrong with that.
Um,
It's a great month for this
yeah.
sort of
So
stuff.
that's on Amazon Prime, and then if you head over to Netflix, Carrie is streaming, which I think
Gotta
still
watch that
holds up.
anyway for Film Sack this week, so people should be watching that.
Yeah, I agree.
There was a book that came out that I started and I never finished it, but they did make is it a movie or a series?
What was the
It
book?
looks like it's a movie. It's called Gerald's Game.
Oh, Gerald's Game. Yeah, it's a movie.
That
on-
also had Henry Thomas.
Yeah. Also Netflix, and the wife is. We just saw her in something else.
I couldn't get through the book though. It was just
It's
too
a creepy
boring.
book.
It's a weird
also really
book, and I'm
creepy.
like,
It's a
how is this
creepy
gonna
book.
end? I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, and 1922 also very good on Netflix. Yeah. Some of you, if no one's seen that, that's
I don't
very
know
good.
1922.
That's got your the guy in The Mist, which I also really liked.
Which is also streaming. The Mist.
Who's the hung guy?
Thomas Jane.
yeah,
Thomas Jane. He's in 1922. That's a worthy thing to watch. That's very good.
Punisher, Thomas Jane.
Yes, the original. No, sorry, second Punisher.
Well, we can't Dolph.
Yeah. They say phrasing.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying
Or
that's the guy
Hasselhoff.
from the show Hung. That's why it's not phrasing. It was literally it was a show called Hung. Yeah.
So, and then someone in the chat room asked if it's the new or old Carrie. It's the old Carrie with
Oh
what's
yeah,
her,
we're doing that this week.
what's her name?
With
Sissy Spacek.
Sissy
Yeah,
Spacek,
not
which-
the Chloe Grace Moretz.
Yeah.
Which she's also in Castle Rock season 1.
Oh.
Sissy Spacek is?
Mm-hmm.
Well, this wouldn't be the first seed. I can think about the Tim Robbins connection. He's from Shawshank Redemption. Like
Right.
they're pulling people in from other King things in very cool, unique ways, and they also happen to be pretty good actors. Like I love all of this. Like the fact that we're just living in King time is great time. This is good.
I agree.
Yeah, I'm with you. He's like he is my favorite author. It seems like a weird thing to say because a lot of people say that, but this isn't bandwagoning here. That dude is awesome.
Have you watched his son's show on FXX? I keep meaning to watch
Is it
it.
Lock
I
and
haven't
Key?
had a chance to watch it.
Lock and Key?
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Is it Lock and Key?
No, not Lock and Key. What's his son's name?
Joe Hill.
Stephen King.
Joe Hill. Joe Hill.
Joe Hill?
Joe Hill.
Joe Hill.
Mm-hmm. I'll just keep saying Joe Hill while you look it up.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. But I swear it was something else. FXX.
He has another son who goes by King, but I forgot his first name. But Joe Hill's the.
Oh, it's called N0S4A2.
Oh,
Nosferatu. Okay, gotcha.
Nosferatu, yeah, and it's based on. Didn't he do a book? I forget. Joe Hill books.
But yeah, I've been meaning to watch it. I just never got around to it. You know what? I'm gonna make sure I can. I'm probably gonna have to buy it, but
If you've ever seen
I
a picture
hear
of Joe
great
Hill, by the way,
things about it.
his picture on Wikipedia, he looks like Stephen King and a chud had a baby. Now, no offense to Tabitha King, she's a lovely woman, but
Or
Joe
chuds,
Hill,
for that matter.
or
No offense to
yeah,
chuds.
no offense to the cannibalistic humanoid underground
Oh,
dwellers.
the chud community. We love our chud community.
Yeah, they're great.
it says it's on AMC.
Oh,
This is that what it is? Nosferatu? Is that what it is?
yeah, it's like a weird
Alright.
code for that. I think is the way it does it.
It's
And
like the worst license plate ever.
But I'm pretty sure he wrote. Yeah, that's based on his book by the same name, published in 2013. I didn't see it. I read The Fireman in 2016, which I also really.
I'll put a link in the chat to it.
If you've never
'Cause
read, if you've
yeah,
never
I've-
read Lock and Key, the comics series they did from 08 to 2013, man, so good. Oh. And that show keeps getting in and out of production like 5 times in a row. I don't know what's going on with
They
that
haven't made it yet, right?
show. No, I don't think it ever. I don't think it hasn't reached its final form.
It's not evolved.
Kind of like
Yeah.
Dark Tower.
A little bit. Oh, Dark Tower, but that's happening. That's going now. That's getting
Right.
made. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
I'm so excited. It's my favorite series of all time. All right, there you go. These are great,
There you
great
go.
recommendation. It reminded me that it was even on, so I'm gonna go watch this. I may binge this because I never saw the first season because I'm lame.
Oh, it's so
I know.
good.
I know.
Watch it.
How lame am I?
So good.
So I'm gonna do that and then get my anthology on, man. Because look,
There you go.
my favorite anthology series is Fargo, but they're way too slow doing new stuff. So I need something
Yeah.
else. I'll bring it
Well,
on.
now that Holly's done with Legion, now maybe he'll move over to Fargo, to doing more Fargo.
Doesn't
I
he
know
have
you were
his-
binging Legion last time we talked.
Oh yeah,
how are you doing
Nicole.
with that?
Did you make it through more Legion?
I haven't gone back.
Oh no.
Go back. You got to go back.
I know, but it just took that first episode took too long.
I know.
It
No, it's
drug.
worth getting to the end of season.
I'd rather
2
watch
because
Castle Rock.
Chat room, Max Payne in the chat reminds us that the Mr. Mercedes show is also a thing that's on. That's one of my favorite King books. That at least the first book had no supernatural anything in it. It was just a detective novel, and this old aging detective in the show is played by what's the guy's name? Oh my gosh, in Bruges. He's in everything. He's in Harry Potter. His name is.
Yes, the guy plays Mad Eye Moody, and
Yes.
I can't remember.
A great actor. His son is Commander Butthole in the Star Wars movies.
Commander Butthole.
Brendan Gleeson. Brendan Gleeson. Domhnall Gleeson is his son. That's who that is, and he plays not Commander Butthole. His name's Stork. No, what is it? He's the skinny German-looking guy who.
I don't know.
Lux, not
right?
Lux, not Lux.
Somebody said Gleason.
Hux. Nux is the kid. Nux is the kid from Mad Max Fury Road. All right. Anyways, the point is, what was my point? Oh, he plays this detective, and I have been pining to see that as well. But it was on like a weird channel, like you know how these sometimes show up in the weirdest places, and you're like, who the hell watches TV there?
Yeah. For instance, I just looked up on Prime Video this Nosferatu. I guess that's how you say it. It's on Shudder, which is
the Shudder service,
spooky channel, but you can watch it free with a 7-day pass, which I will be doing to watch this show.
Interesting.
And there's a creep show on that as well, a creep show series on Shudder that's really good. Supposedly. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and super bloody. I heard, like very gory. Yeah,
it's gory.
Well, I mean, the movies were pretty gory back in the day.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there was. Remember what did we see in that second one, Brian? There was some pretty gory stuff in that. In Creepshow 2.
I'm remembering the cigar store Indian with Bill Tench.
Bill Tench. Bill Tench is a young Native American boy.
Yeah.
So is that the cigar store one? And
yes.
The one that always sticks in my head is when the teenagers swim out into the middle of a lake. Is that Creepshow?
That's pretty gory. That's gory stuff there.
I guess so, right? Yeah, because when the girl gets pulled down in,
and then the guy with the leg, and my gosh, I get so much anxiety watching that one, but it sticks in my head, and every time I go to a lake, I think of that. That episode.
Laying on the side of the dock, and then she turns over, and her whole face is like all.
That's what you get for trying to have sex.
Yep, that's right. That's what happens. You smoke the pot, you have the sex. That'll get you there every time. Get you right in the middle of a lake with a big trash bag monster in the water. Anyway, well, this has been great. All these things are great. Now, here's the fun bit. If you want to find out what we talked about today, because your memories are garbage, then all you have to do is follow Nicole at Nicole Spag on Twitter, and she will post those there with links and everything.
Maybe not everything we discussed, but at least the main ones.
Mostly, yes. Many of what we discussed, Commander Butthole notwithstanding. Nicole Spag, have a fantastic day, and
bye, guys.
Bye. Throw wieners at your screen. Okay.
Got attacked by a kitten
while
we were doing this segment.
Oh, he's such a cutie, though. I mean, there are worse things to get attacked by, I'm saying.
I know, for sure.
A lot worse. All right. A couple quick things before we get out of here. Number one, TMS Mashups has a new site, and I want people to be aware of it. It is tmsmashups.com. Jamie put this thing together.
That's easy to remember for TMS Mashups.
It really is, and he worked really hard on this, and it's evident when you go there. So I will give you an example of what you can do. I'm going there now, and as you can tell, it's... Oh, I bet they're all hitting it, so now it's getting slow. Okay, there we go. So, for example, he puts his mashups here. Recent Monday mashups, for example. And if you just hit play, here's one right here where it just starts playing.
A handful of his presidential pubes. Excuse me. Yes, sir. Your name is stupid.
Anyway, they're all right here.
You can play them on demand.
Yep, there's recent bonus mashups, recent Scott plays, recent Monday mashups, which are the ones we do for TMS. And then there's some, let's see, Boom Lady Boobs. What's this one?
Boom, lady boobs.
Let's see. Hold on. See how old this is.
Look at us and our glamorous bullshit.
Shame on you, Mr. President.
I think this might be a new one that I haven't heard yet, so I'm not going to play it yet.
Okay.
But it's all there at tmsmashups.com. I want you guys to go check it out. It's also linked on our page. It's just super cool. It's a great way to get this bite-sized, funny stuff. And if that wasn't enough, he did this amazing Film Sack compilation thing.
Oh, yeah, that anniversary thing is so good.
It's really good, and I'm going to play it after we're done here on this show. So you're going to hear this, listeners at home. You're going to hear the whole schmear. And if that's not enough to get you to finally check out Film Sack, I don't know what is.
Yeah, exactly. Come on now.
Give me a break. All right, that's it. Patreon.com/TMS is how you support this nonsense. Please go there, patreon.com/TMS. Take advantage of our poor planning. And take advantage of how little we get for as much as we do, because we really screwed up.
That's right.
You should take advantage of it. Patreon.com/TMS. Frogpants.com/TMS for everything else. That's going to do it. Oh, and go vote for show titles. Jeannie, thank you for the link. If you're watching live, you should guys click that link and vote for your favorite show titles that have been submitted throughout the last hour and a half or so. Brian will now play a song, and he will tell us what it is.
Yes. John, Taz the Man in chat wrote in, said, "Hey, Scott and Brian, I'd love to celebrate my 27th birthday with you guys and the Tadpool with a cool song. Thanks for the years of great shows and laughs. Keep on being awesome. Love the show, though. John, P.S. You guys sound sparkly."
Do you want me to play it? Is that what
I
he's
guess
asking
so.
for?
I think that's what he wants to hear.
Oh, geez. Okay. I'm here to be what you need. Hold on a second. So I'm not in the right place. Okay. So that would be a Daryl sound. And what was it? Sparkly.
Sparkly. Yeah.
Let's check it out here. Here we go. Playing.
You guys sound kind of sparkly.
Now remember, he was naked when he did that. Naked Trek nerd. Yep. Pretty gross.
All right. So John wanted to hear any cover of the 1975. By the way, 1975 is Kay, the woman's living with us, Tristan's girlfriend, her favorite band. They're going to go see them December 1st at the First Bank Center here in Denver. They're both super excited. She probably more so than him, but they're both excited to see him. Anyway, this is the 1975's The Sound, covered by Tom Odell for BBC Radio 1's Live Lounge 2016. Here is Tom Odell.
This show is part of the Frog Pants Network.
Frog Pants Network.
Get more shows like this at frogpants.com.
Slurp my butt.
There's an oldie but a goodie.
Yeah.
Well done.
Well done. Yeah.